Tell me about establishing the International Day of Peace, Ambassador.
Well, I was a U.S. diplomat for 40 years, and many of my years were spent on the United Nations Economic and Social Affairs, so I was fairly well known at the UN in New York. And I was on the U.S. delegation to the General Assembly in 1981. And right in the middle of the session, a senior diplomat from Costa Rica came up to talk to me, and he said, "My president wants to establish an International Year of Peace." And I said, "Oh, that's a wonderful idea. Let me just check out and see when the next, quote, year is available on the calendar of the United Nations." And so I looked and I said, well, the next year is not already taken up with some other subject. It's 10 years from now. He said, "Oh my God, my president will be around by that time. He's going to be very unhappy." So he went away. He came back a week later and said, "My president really wants to do something for peace." So we sat together and I thought about it and talked about it, and I said, finally, "How about an International Day of Peace?" Oh, he said, "That's a fantastic idea. An International Day of Peace. My president will love that." I said, "Well, let me write the resolution for you. And I won't tell the State Department about it because they might not agree. I'll just do it privately. And you have to have your president come up from Costa Rica and make the speech at the General Assembly." And so I wrote the resolution, and sure enough, his president came up and presented the resolution to the General Assembly in November of 1981, and it was adopted unanimously. And the way I'd written the resolution, the opening day of the General Assembly of the United Nations would be the International Day of Peace. It's always the third Thursday in September, but that moves around from year to year. So 10 years, in 2001, someone decided to put in another resolution making the International Day of Peace September 21. And so that laid down the regular date, and then everybody has agreed to that, and that's been the date ever since.